The just-in-time or JIT inventory ordering process has been around since the 1970s. But much newer examples show how much more efficiently a business can run when it adopts the practice of ordering what is needed only when it is needed. JIT inventory management is a system of purchasing or manufacturing goods only when they need it to avoid a large amount of inventory in your warehouse.
A JIT inventory system is a strategy that enables a company to receive goods as close as possible to when they're actually needed. A major benefit is that it minimizes the need to store large quantities of inventory, which improves efficiency and provides a substantial cost savings. It's popular with small businesses and major corporations alike because it enhances cash flow and it reduces the amount of capital needed to run the business. Let's talk through some examples of the just-in-time inventory process. First, retailers. Many mass market retailers use JIT strategies to minimize their inventory costs and to provide their customers with large quantities of merchandise at just the right time. For example, Target and Walmart schedule their seasonal merchandise to arrive just as demand is beginning to pick up for specific items. As the season draws to a close and demand dwindles, shelves are cleared to make room for the next season's items. Even smaller retailers can take advantage of the JIT method to streamline the delivery process. For example, a company that markets office furniture but doesn't manufacture it may order the furniture from the manufacturer only when a customer makes a purchase. The manufacturer delivers it directly to the customer. The retailer saves the cost of storing the inventory.
Burger King franchises keep a substantial inventory of hamburger ingredients on hand all the time, but a hamburger is only cooked once it's ordered. This saves waste and gives them the opportunity to stand out from the crowd by bragging about the freshness of their food. Hey, did you know that my doctor actually recommended that I eat at Burger King more often?
Did he really?
I mean, he did say stop eating McDonald's.
Oh.
But you know what he meant.
Apple's CEO, Tim Cook, entirely revamped Apple's manufacturing process. Starting as Apple's chief operating officer in 1998, he pulled the company out of manufacturing, closing Apple's warehouses and factories around the world. He established just-in-time relationships with independent manufacturing contractors. The improvements reduced the amount of time Apple's inventory sat on the company's balance sheet, which went from months to days. Apple credits these changes as a key factor in the company's growth and their profitability.
On-demand publishing is a prime example of the JIT inventory method, and it has become popular with independent publishers and self-publishing businesses all over the world. Master manuscripts of books are kept on hand, but texts are only printed and assembled as needed when the retail sale is made. This reduces bookstore returns and waste of unsold inventory.
By the way, this is a picture of the Rococo Library in Portugal's National Palace. It's a pretty unique library. A colony of bats is allowed to live inside the library to eat the book-damaging bugs. During the day, the bats sleep behind these elaborate bookcases and only come out at night when the library is closed, and then they eat up all those pesky insects. Every morning before the library opens, the cleaners have to sweep up the scat they drop. A pretty small price to pay to preserve the collection, I guess.
Implementing a just-in-time system is a huge undertaking, and the benefits can also be massive. Let's go over a few key factors when considering implementing JIT. First, we aim for stability, and then we can work on continually improving. Supplier relations. It may sound obvious, but considering whether your part comes from an internal supplier or external will determine how easy it is to get the supplier on board. Internal suppliers are a good place to start. Get that simple system up and running first. Then consider how to engage your external suppliers and get them involved. Having strong relationships with suppliers is essential when you use a JIT system. The premise is your ability to place a last-minute order for inventory and rely on the goods arriving on time. To do that, you need suppliers you can count on to deliver as needed. When you place an order, your supplier should have the ability to process and ship the order quickly to meet your needs. Because the JIT inventory system revolves around being as efficient as possible, time is your greatest resource, and so efficient communication with vendors is a must.
Internal storage. While implementing JIT, consider starting with the two-stage process. Create an internal storage area that supplies into the main assembly process. Monitor that for a few weeks and continue to problem solve and get that part of the supply process running well. Having that buffer will allow you to focus on one section of the process, then extend the JIT system to the suppliers and then run out of the buffer and link the two loops together.
Implement it in stages. As well as implementing your JIT system in stages, also consider looking at one category or supplier and use that to pilot to get a better understanding of the issues your particular business will face. There's a pretty high learning curve with JIT, and if this is a change that we are implementing, we have to demonstrate how it works to employees. Developing internal process charts for manufactured goods and flow charts to demonstrate the entire life cycle of the product can help employees better understand the processes. Once it's successfully implemented, JIT will typically lower expenses because of lower storage costs, lower insurance expenses, fewer losses due to obsolescence or expiration, and definitely less theft. JIT inventory systems allow for a greater degree of product flexibility with the ability to service a wide range of customers. You also need fewer resources for internal controls.
This model has the potential to dramatically reduce waste, lower costs, and improve profitability. That said, it's highly complex and it requires expertise and skills that many organizations don't have. The model has many interdependencies that are risky if something should go wrong. Larger organizations have the financial power to form exclusive agreements with suppliers to ensure tight controls, but many smaller organizations are vulnerable to suppliers' mistakes. Despite some of its risks, the upside of just-in-time is so strong that its application is becoming more widespread, and smaller organizations are increasingly embracing the concept.
With these aspects considered as you head out to start implementing a just-in-time system, remember that it won't be smooth sailing, but the ability of you and your team to problem solve and build a robust system will ensure your success.